All right. I think it's recording. I hope it's recording. All right. We are going to try, or I'm going to try and record this video this way. This should be on solving. Go right on top of all that. I'm going to mark will leak through. Get rid of that. Solving. Wow, that's just spelled terrible, but whatever. Solving equations. All right. Let's fix this to be a little bit better. All right. Solving equations. All right, these have equal signs. They're not expressions, they're equations. We have equal signs. So this is a foolproof way to solve an equation. If you first, step one, simplify both sides, and then step two, cancel out terms or operations um, with inverse operations. And inverse operations are to cancel out addition, use subtraction. To cancel out subtraction, use addition. To cancel out multiplication, you use division. Cancel out division, use multiplication. All right, these are inverse operations. So the first thing, step one, you look at the problem. Is the left side, simplified? I would say yes. Those are not like terms. Can't combine them. Then you look at the right side. Is that simplified? Yeah, it's 11. Simplified. All right. So then you go through step two. Step one is done. Now you go to step two. Let's cancel out terms or operations with inverse operations. The reason why we are doing that is because we want to, if I can open this marker, we want to get x by itself. Now, something that is important to remember, when you begin to cancel out, when you begin to do step two, you cancel out. This is the order of canceling things out. You're going to do this first, and then you're going to do this second. All right, first and then second. First cancel out addition and subtraction, and then cancel out multiplication or division. All right. So the first thing I am going to cancel out is going to be this positive 3. And the opposite of adding 3 is subtracting 3. What you do to one side, you do to the other side. All right, what you do one side, you do the other side. So that cancels out. So I am going to get, I always like to drop my equal sign directly vertical. So I'm going to get 4x equals 11 minus 3, 8. All right, I have no more addition or subtraction to cancel out. Now I have multiplication that I need to cancel out. All right, now I have multiplication that I need to cancel out. So to cancel that out, I'm going to use division because division is the inverse operation of multiplication. So I'm going to divide by 4. And what I do to one side, I do to the other side. Really important. I did not divide by x. I only divided by the 4. I don't want to cancel this x out. The whole point is I want it by itself on the left side. I did not cancel the x out. You don't divide by 4x. You only divide by 4. All right. So that gives me 4 divided by 4 is 1, right? Anything divided by itself is 1, which is the whole point. I now have 1x. Mathematician's lazy. I'm not going to write the 1 in front of it. And then 8 divided by 4 is 2. That's your answer. All right. So let's move on to the next one. Number 2. All right. Number 2, x is over here on the right side. All right, so I don't want anything to be next to that. So, first thing, first step, simplify both sides. Is that simplified? Looks simplified to me. It says 20. Is that simplified? Just, can you combine those? Can you do anything? No. All right, so those are both simplified. Step 1, done. Next step, cancel out terms or operations with inverse operations. Now, are you going to use addition or subtraction? Or do you have addition or subtraction to cancel out? Now, this equation is written a little bit tricky. Some students might say that you have addition to cancel out. And that is wrong. What you need to cancel out is you need to cancel out this negative 10. Because this right here is multiplication. And before you cancel out multiplication, I need to get rid of this negative 10. Okay. And another way you can see that is if you were to rewrite this equation as 5x minus 10. Positive 5x minus 10. Remember, when we're talking about, we watched the video, you've seen notes for simplifying expressions, variables come first. So I just moved it in front and now it makes more sense. So this is actually subtraction that I need to cancel out. And I need to cancel it out with addition. And when I do to one side, I do to the other side. That will cancel out. So now I have 30 equals 5x. Next thing I need to cancel out is the multiplication. All right, I need to get, trying to get x by itself, that's always the focus. I need to get x by itself. So, to get rid of multiplication, you do the inverse operation, which is division. Divide by 5, divide by 5. So we're going to get 6 equals x. I would accept that as the answer. However, what I would accept more, what I would prefer more would be x equals 6. I prefer this more, all right? You read left to right, right? We don't read right to left. So this is just more preferred. X equals 6, not 6 equals x. X equals 6, all right? So let's pull up some more. All right. Have some extra things to do now. Now when we look at step 1, simplify both sides, and I look at that side, that's not simplified. I see like terms that I can combine. I can combine this and this. So I'm going to do that first. That's step 1. I'm going to simplify both sides. So let's simplify the side. Variables first. So I'm going to drop 3n. 4 minus 7 is negative 3. All right. Dang it, I didn't get my equal signs to line up. I'm going to have to drop this one perfect, though. Is that simplified now? I think it's simplified. Can't do anything more. I know that side's for sure simplified. Just 3. All right. So we want n by itself. So now we're on to step 2. Now we're on to step 2. We're going to get n by itself. All right. So let's cancel stuff out. So subtraction with addition. That's the inverse operation. So add 3, add 3. Cancel that. All right, so now we're going to have 3n equals 6. Now in order to cancel out multiplication, we're going to use division because that is the inverse operation. So divide by 3, divide by 3. Again, we do not want to cancel the n out. That's why you're not dividing by 3n. We're just canceling out the 3, the multiplication. So that's canceled out. So we now have just the n, which is the whole point, equals 2. All right. Next one. Definitely doesn't look simplified to me. Doesn't look simplified at all. All right. So we're going to simplify the left side. Really important to remember, there's an invisible -1 right there. I mean, the negative is not invisible, but there's a 1 right there, which we have to distribute. All right, so we're going to distribute. We're going to multiply it through. So -1 times n is -n. -1 times +3 is -3. That equals 10. All right. Simplified now. And 10 is definitely simplified. All right, so let's cancel out addition. No, not addition. Let's cancel out subtraction with addition. What you do to one side, you do to the other side. So that's canceled out now. So now we just have -n equals 13. All right, haven't seen this yet. In order to change something from a negative to a positive, you multiply both sides, not one side, you multiply both sides by a -1. So multiply, and you're going to multiply everything. So actually what I'm going to do, I want to put that in parentheses actually. And I'll put this in parentheses. So let's just say, crap, I still have to do another parentheses, -1. Right? Multiply by -1. Multiply by -1. I might have made that more confusing than it needed to be. You're just multiplying both sides by -1. All right? And you get n equals -13. Flip the symbol, change the sign by multiplying both sides by -1. All right? So this is the answer. I do not like how I wrote that multiplication, but we're going to roll with it. All right? And that whole time we were trying to get n by itself until we finally did. No -3 and no pesky negative, all right? All right, fun stuff. Is that simplified? Some students might not think so. Some people might not think so. Some people don't like fractions, all right? I don't blame you. I don't like fractions either. However, that is simplified because you cannot combine those like terms, and 2 does not evenly go into 3. So we're actually, I don't want 1.5. You're actually going to leave that as 3/2, okay? So step 1 is actually complete. It is simplified. That is simplified. Move on to the next step is canceling things out because we want to get this x by itself. So we got multiplication, 3/2 times x, and we have subtraction. So let's do subtraction first. Remember, because this is first and this is second. All right. So we are going to add 10 to both sides. Add 10. Add 10. And I get, almost did that red, but want to, and then I get 3/2 x equals 0. Now here's a fancy little word that you guys may have heard, hopefully have heard, reciprocal. All right. And what that means is flip over the fraction bar. Flip over fraction bar. All right. Flip it over the fraction bar. So whenever you have a fraction multiplication and you want to cancel it out, you multiply by the reciprocal. So I am going to multiply by 2/3. I flipped it, right? Flip over the fraction bar. I flipped the fraction, 2/3, and it cancels out. Cancels out, cancels out. Multiply by what you do to one side, got to do the other side, so I multiply by 2/3. Well, hopefully everybody knows that when you multiply 0 times anything, 0 times anything is 0. All right? 0 times anything is 0. All right. I'm going to do this last one and stop this video here, and then I'll make a part 2. All right, for the sake of time. Plus, I don't even know if this video is working. I know my first one didn't. This is actually take 2. So I'm going to pause after number 6. That right side doesn't look simplified to me. Doesn't look simplified at all. So step 1, simplify. Really important that you are distributing not just 2, but you're going to distribute -2, right? You're going to multiply both of these by -2. So I have -8 equals -2 times x is -2x. -2 times 20 is -40. All right. That looks pretty good to me. I can't combine those terms. They're not like terms. That side's good, right? It's just -8. All right. So let's cancel out subtraction first, because first and then second. All right. So add 40. Add 40. All right. Well, this is going to cancel out because that's the point of it. Again, we are now to the step 2 phase. So we're trying to get this by itself, trying to get x by itself. All right, so -8 plus 40 is +32. And then we still have the -2x. Again, still trying to get this by itself. So in order to cancel out the multiplication, you divide, cancels out. All right. Negatives cancel out. That's really important. Negatives cancel. Negative divided by negative is a positive. That's why you divide by -2, not just 2. All right, so 32 divided by -2 is -16. And now we have x by itself. Yes, this is technically correct. However, right, I was talking about the preferred would be x equals -16. All right, that is the preferred answer. Okay, so I'm going to end this video here, and hopefully it worked. Praying this video worked.